if you are Marc Bergevin, I don't think it's a bit of a loss for sure, but you're still getting a first round pick back and a third. And to Sean's point, I think you gotta solidify that that center ice position. You have to. You can't go into the season with having Suzuki, Jake Evans, and they also have Cole Caulfield listed as a center on Cap Friendly, but we all know that he's probably better off being on the wing, especially with his size. Yeah. So you have to solidify that center ice position. That's a must. And if that does happen, that actually might be a bit of a snowball effect within the NHL. People are waiting on what's going to happen in Buffalo with Jack Eichel, but hey, I wouldn't be surprised if they take a look at over here in Calgary, because there's a center over here who scores 25 to 30 goals every year, and he's potentially on his way out. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a potential trade within between the Flames and Canadians.
And also, just like what Sean and also Friedman brought up in the 31.5, that Dvorak in Arizona is a potential target as well.
Don't feed into Kevin's like little things. They're still calling it 31 thoughts.
Can I have some original?
I appreciate the humor in it. Okay, soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, honestly, I think I look at where Montreal is, and I look at all the moves they've made. They're win now mode. And if they don't match, they have to have a move to acquire a center in the works or ready to be announced as soon as they say they're accepting the offer, because they cannot go into this season with the amount of money that they've spent on their wings and on their blue line, let alone with Carey Price and net, without a proper running mate in the top six with Suzuki, because Suzuki is your 1C. And you should be trying to go as long-term as possible with him, because he's in that age range that it makes sense. But if I'm Bergevin, I'm doing everything I can to line things up so that when I accept the offer and not match it, I have a trade lined up. Because once you accept it and you're already set to, you've already tied yourself in, you lose a lot of negotiating power in that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sorry, Kev, go for it.
No, go ahead, Devin.
Say for instance, okay, I want to go down this rabbit hole a little bit with the Calgary Flames once again.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go anyway. So
perfect. I'm looking at since Daryl Sutter is a we know the type of coach Daryl Sutter is, nitty gritty, meat and potatoes type of players. I'm looking at this lineup here, and I absolutely would love a trade of Armia for Sean Monahan with some Tyler sweeteners in there as well. That's just looking at the lineup and who they've acquired. They've acquired and they signed Matthew Perreault, and they signed Josh Anderson last year, traded for Josh Anderson last year, and then re-upped him with the contract. So also with Mike Hoffman being on that team, which is a complete looking at 3 years for Mike Hoffman at 4.5. What an overpay that was. Holy shit balls. But overall, I could definitely see a Armia being available for trade if they're looking down that road to solidify that center. And I think that he'd fit in well with the Flames, what Daryl Sutter and Brad Treliving are trying to build here. And he can play up and down the lineup easily enough. He has the skill to play in the top six. Obviously not on the top line, but if he needs to be on the second line, I think he'd be a good fit within Calgary. And Sean Monahan, that's one thing that they were missing in the playoffs for Montreal Canadiens was scoring. They had a hard time scoring, and Sean Monahan would help solidify that second C role and contribute offensively as well.